I'm going to be remaking Minecraft mobs into Steal a Brain Rot. The first mob I'll make is Odin Din Din Dun, and I'm going to use a creaking to make him. First, let's get rid of a few things. Next, I'm going to make his body bigger. Now let's make it round because he's an orange. And I'm going to give him some feet. Now let's change the shape of his arms. And I'll give him a hand on the bottom. Next, I'm going to add the leaf thing on the top of his head, and I think he's looking pretty good. It's time to add color. First, I'm going to color the entire orange. Next, we'll make his arms and legs a bit darker. Now I'm going to color this top part green. Next, let's color in his nose, and I'll give him a mouth. Now let's add his eyes, and we'll color in his shoes. Finally, let's add a bit of detail, and I think this is looking good. Let's see how he looks in game. Here we have an Odin Din Dun in game. The way he walks is so tough. Definitely makes me want to buy him. Why is he jittering like this? Okay, I take it back. Maybe his walk isn't that good. Anyways, that doesn't take away from the fact that he looks really good in game. I mean, this might be one of my best brain rots yet. So let's steal this guy. I don't know where all my brain rots went from last time. It appears somebody stole them. This is Odin Din Dun in the real game. As you can see, he does a ton of damage and knockback because he's super buff. He also has so much health that you would probably never be able to win a fight against him. But that's okay because he is friendly as long as you don't attack him. And he will even pick you up and take you anywhere as long as you remain friendly. I wonder how this seating works. I think this position is a little bit strange. If Odin Din Dun somehow manages to die, he drops a definitely real orange. But don't try killing him with anvils though, because he is immune to anvil damage for some reason. Just seems like something that he'd be able to do. And overall, I think that Odin Din Din Dun turned out really good. So because of this, I am going to give him a 10 out of 10. Next, I will make Pot Hotspot. And I am going to use a skeleton for this one. First, I'm going to rotate his arms. Next, I'm going to give him some feet. And I'll make his head into the shape of a phone. Next, I'll turn his head down a bit. Now let's turn this part into the phone he's holding. And I think that's pretty good. Let's add some color. First, I'll color in the back and sides of the phone. And let's add his screen like this. Now I'm going to color in the rest of his head. And we'll give him a face. And we'll add a bit more details to the face like this. Now let's change the color of the skeleton. And I think this looks pretty good. Let's see how he looks in game. This is how Pot Hotspot looks in game. As you can see, he turned out pretty good. I will say his face looks a little bit scary though. But he is a skeleton, so that's fine. Skeletons are supposed to be scary. The animation that he has for walking also looks a little bit sus. But that's fine, we'll still steal him anyway. And now we can go see Pot Hotspot in the actual game. This is how he looks inside of real Minecraft. Still sus. If you catch Pot Hotspot looking down at his phone, you are able to kill him in one hit. This is because he's not paying attention. Don't look at your phone while fighting. He's also immune to fire damage while looking at his phone. I don't know why. That's not a real thing. If you kill Pot Hotspot, he drops his phone. And if you try to use his phone, it has advanced security. It's definitely not just an end crystal. That's the security features. Anyways, Pot Hotspot looks really good. There's just a few things wrong with his face. So because of this, I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. Next, I'm going to make Nubini Pizzanini. And I'm going to use a zombie to make him. First, I'm going to shrink down his head. Next, I'm going to make the pizza on top of his head. Now let's make him the size of a Roblox character. And I'll just change the size of the pizza bit too. Okay, that looks pretty good. It's time to color him in. First, we'll color his head and arms yellow. Now let's color his shirt in light blue. Next, I'm going to make his pants light green. Now let's color in the crust of his pizza. And we'll add some cheese on the top like this. Now let's add some pepperonis. Next, I'm going to give him a face. And finally, let's add some details to his shirt. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. It's time to see what he looks like in game. This is Nubini Pizzanini in the game. I don't know why, but he looks a little boring. To be fair, I don't know what I expected. He's basically just a Roblox noob. He does have this pizza on top of his head though. Unfortunately, right-clicking him does not let you eat it. Anyways, it's time to buy a Nubini. I hope we have enough money. Nubini can be kind of expensive. And this is what Nubini looks like in the actual game. As you can see, he looks exactly the same. What isn't the same though is that he is completely invincible to damage. This is to protect noobs. I am still allowed to kill Nubini though. The protection doesn't apply to me. And when I kill Nubini, he drops a pizza. A pizza made of pumpkins. Definitely not a pumpkin pie. Honestly, Nubini looks pretty boring in the game, and he doesn't have that many features. So because of this, I am going to give him a 6 out of 10. Next, we will make Karker, and I'm going to use a horse for this one. First, I'm going to get rid of all this stuff. Next, let's shape his body into the seat, and we'll add a back part like this. Next, I'm going to make his legs into the shape of chair legs, and I'll add some feet to the front ones. Now let's turn this piece into an arm, and we'll put some fingers here as well. Now let's copy this over to the other side, and I'm going to turn this part into his mouth. Next, Next, we'll use this to give him a nose, and these parts are going to be his eyes. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. It's time to add color. First, let's color his entire body light green, and I'm going to color his lips a bit darker. Next, I'll color in his eyes, and I'm going to add a bit of detail like this. Alright, I think this is looking pretty good. It's time to add him to the game. Here is the chair in the game. I'm not going to bother trying to pronounce his actual name. As you can see, he has a different walking animation than the other brain rots. He has to wobble back and forth when he walks because he's a chair. His back legs definitely should be moving though. I don't know what's wrong with that. Anyways, let's just steal a chair, man. And this is what he looks like in the real game. If you right click on him, you are able to sit down on the chair. But you cannot control where you are going because that's not how chairs work. The chair picks your destination. He also is unable to drown for whatever reason. I feel like if you threw a chair into a lake, it probably wouldn't drown. So this one makes sense. If you kill the chairman, he gives you a wooden plank. This is because chairs can be made of wood. I don't think that this guy is made of wood, but I couldn't really think of a better block to make him drop. So he drops wood. And overall, I think the chairman turned out pretty good, but he's not the best brain rot I've made. So because of this, I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. Next, I am going to make Las Tralaleritas, and we will use an axolotl to make them. First, let's get rid of the whole axolotl because we don't need it, and we will just use this Los Tralaleritos to make them instead. Let's replace all the blue parts with this pink color, and we'll do the same on the shoes, but make it a bit darker. Now let's color in the rest of their bodies bright white, and I'm going to make their lips lighter as well. Next, let's turn this into the bows that they have on their heads, and we'll color this light pink. And let's copy this over so each of them have one. Alright, I think that we are done. It's time to see what they look like in game. This is how they look in the game. As you can see, they look very similar to Los Tralaleritos from last video. But that's a good thing because they are supposed to look similar. The one on the left is missing eyebrows though. I don't know how that happened. Anyways, let's buy a Tralaleritas. And now we have a full row of brain rots in our base, so I think it's time to rebirth. This is how Los Tralaleritas looks in the real game. For some reason, they are very small. If you want to kill them, you will get a bucket of axolotl for the kill. Just think of it as one of them in the bucket instead of an axolotl. And if they end up swimming in water, I made sure to make it so that they can't drown, because they look like they would be able to live underwater. Overall, I don't think Los Tralaleritas is the best looking mob, so because of this, I decided to give them a 7 out of 10. Next, I'm going to make Chimpanzini Bananini, and we'll use the wither to make him. First, let's get rid of all the stuff we don't need, then we'll change the size of his body, and we'll make it a little bit wider as well. Now let's change the size of his head, and we'll start to turn his body into a banana. Now let's start adding some peeled parts on the sides, and we'll copy this to the other side. Next, I'm gonna start to make his face, and we'll give him some ears, and I think this is looking good. Now let's color him in. First, we'll color this part dark green. Next, I'm gonna color some parts of his face red, and we'll make the banana completely yellow. Now let's give him some eyes, and I'm gonna add his mouth. Now finally, let's color this part brown, and I think this is looking pretty good. Let's see how he looks in game. Okay, so we've made it to my Minecraft version of Steal a Brain Rot. It's really good, and it's definitely not unplayable. And this is what Chimpanzini Bananini looks like in game. As you can hear, he's got the wither sounds. It's very loud, so I probably shouldn't have added that. I also gave him like a flying animation. I don't think it's accurate, but whatever. I don't care. So I'm just gonna steal this guy and bring him to my base. Now he's in my base, which means we can take a look at some of the other features he has, like being able to do a ton of knockback when he hits you because banana peels are slippery. So it's like slipping on a banana peel, but the banana is hitting you instead. He also isn't able to take fall damage because I made him look like he's flying, and you probably don't take fall damage when you don't actually land on the ground. If you manage to kill a chimpanzini, you will get a blaze rod. This is because I didn't feel like adding a banana item, so a blaze rod is the closest looking thing. Just don't eat it. And overall, I think Chimpanzini Bananini turned out pretty good. And because of this, I am going to give him a 10 out of 10. Next, I'm gonna make Orangatini Ananasini, and I will use an iron golem for this one. First, let's get rid of this, and we'll change his legs to make them a lot smaller. Now let's make his body into the shape of a pineapple, and we'll move his head down like this. Next, I'm gonna add his mouth, and we'll give him some ears. Now let's give him some shoulders, and I'm going to move his arm down like this. Next, let's make his arm look a little bent, and we'll give him a hand, and I think this is good. Now let's give him some color. Let's color his body in orange, and I'm gonna give him some brown hands and feet. Now let's color his face brown as well, and I'll give him some eyes and a mouth. Next, I'm going to color in the pineapple, and we'll give it a yellow pattern. Next, I'm gonna add the green part on his head, and I think that looks pretty good. It's time to see him in game. And as you can see, this is what he looks like in game. I'm not really sure why this top part ended up floating, but we're not gonna question it. The rest of him looks good. So let's steal Orangatini. Now I have 2 legendary brain rots, and this is Orangatini in the actual game. As you can see, he doesn't take that much knockback when you hit him. You could ask me why this is a feature, but I honestly have no idea. I think think it's just because he is an iron golem. That's it. You also get a pufferfish when you kill this guy, and you can probably guess why I chose a pufferfish. Again, it's because I didn't feel like adding a pineapple to the game. So instead we get a pineapple with a face. Don't eat it. Regardless of the pufferfish, I think Orangatini looks pretty good. And because of this, I am going to give him a 9 out of 10. It would be a 10, but the floating hair part dropped the rating. Next, I will make Glorbo. And I'm going to use a turtle to make him. Let's get rid of a few things. Next, I'm going to make his body into the shape of a melon. Let's make the melon a little bit rounded. Now I'm going to start shaping his neck, and we'll attach his head to the neck part like this. Next, I'm going to start changing the shape of his head, and I'll give him a nose. Now I'm going to give him some legs, and we'll copy this to the other side. Okay, now this looks pretty good. Let's start to give him some color. First, we're going to color this part green for now. And I'm going to color his legs darker green, and I'll do the same for his head and his neck. Now let's color in the bottom of his neck and head, and finally we'll change the green part to a melon texture. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. Let's see how he looks in game. This is Glorbo in the game. For some reason, you have to punch him to make him walk in the line, but you might have noticed that just like in Steal a Brain Rot, Glorbo rolls instead of walks. Unfortunately, we don't see anything other than a melon though, so we have to steal him. And this is how Glorbo looks in the game. As you can see, he actually looks pretty good. I'm surprised because I thought this one would look pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. If Glorbo is rolling around, he becomes immune to projectiles because he's rolling so fast that he just deflects them. He isn't immune to swords though, as you can see. And if you kill him, you get a full watermelon. I don't think I have to explain why he drops one. You can probably figure it out. Since Glorbo is an alligator, if he ends up underwater, he will never drown. And if you see this in the water, you should stay away, because we all know what happens when you go in the water with a gator. Overall, I think Glorbo turned out better than I expected, so because of this, I'm going to give him a 10 out of 10. Next, I'm going to make Los Tralalaritos, and I will use a Vex to make them. First, I'm going to get rid of this stuff because we don't need it, and let's make his head a little bit wider. Next, I'm going to move his arms, and we'll make the body a bit bigger too. Now let's start giving him some legs, and we'll turn his arms sideways. Now I'm going to add a little nose, and I think that looks good, so let's color him in. First, we'll color this part blue, and I'm going to color the front like this. Now let's color his legs light blue, and I'm gonna make the bottom of his shoes white. Now this is good, so let's copy him and make 3 of them. Now I'm gonna give them some eyes, and I'll make their mouths. And I think this looks pretty good. Let's see what they look like in game. This is how Los Tralalaritos looks in game. As you can see, they look alright. Their faces do kind of look like they belong on dogs though, so that might need to be fixed. They also make kind of a scary noise when you get close to them, but that's fine because we found a secret. I'm sure it's gonna give us a lot of money in this real Steal a Brain Rot game. If you try to damage these guys, it's impossible. You are not able to damage them. So you would probably like to know that if you kill them, you get a god apple because you can't kill them. So if you killed them somehow, you deserve it. Overall, I don't think Los Tralalaritos turned out as good as they could have. So for that, I'm going to give them a 7 out of 10. I don't know why, but something about their face just does not look right. Next, I will make Bombombini Gusini, and I'm going to use a Ghast for this one. First, let's get rid of all the Ghast's legs, and I'm going to flatten this part. Now let's shape it into the body of a plane, and I'm going to use this piece to make his feet. Now let's copy this over to the other side, and I'm gonna add some more details on the sides. Next, let's turn this cube into his wings, and I'm gonna make this into a tail. Now let's give him a neck, and we'll also give him a head. And I think this looks pretty good. It's time to add color. First, I'm gonna color his body fully gray. Next, let's color the feet and wings brown. Now I'm gonna color in his beak, and we'll give him some eyes. Now let's add a bit more details, and I think this is looking pretty good. It's time to add him to the game. This is Bombombini Gusini in the game. I don't know why, but he is moving super fast. It's probably because he's a plane. Planes move fast. He's pushing the other brain rots. This is kind of insane. Anyways, we are going to buy this Gusini real quick, and now we have a pretty insane looking base. We are already making so much money from these brain rots. If you right click on Bombombini Gusini, you are able to go on a flight to anywhere. Well, not really, because he doesn't seem to go up, so I can't get over this mountain. But you are still able to ride him. You also can't attack him with a sword because planes are immune to swords. Don't go test that. It's probably true. If you kill Bombombini, he drops some feathers, and that is because he is a goose, not because the plane is made of feathers. And overall, I think Bombombini Gusini isn't the best looking mob I've made, but he still looks decent. So because of this, I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. The next mob is... Cappuccino Assassino! And I'm going to use a creeper to make him. First, let's get rid of some of the stuff we don't need. Next, I'm going to shape the body into a coffee cup. I'm going to add a layer on top that will be a lid. Now let's add this straw thing up here. Next, I'm going to change the shape of his legs. Now let's give him some feet. And I'm going to add his arms on the side. Now let's start to give him a sword. And we'll copy this thing over to the other side. Now this looks good. Let's color him in. First, I'm going to color the coffee cup. I'll add some brown parts to the cup as well. Next, I'm going to color in his shoes. And let's color his swords gray. Now I'm going to give him some eyes. And we'll add some eyebrows on top. Now let's add some extra details. I think he looks pretty good. Let's add him to the game. This is how he looks in the game. He actually looks really good. I do think the shaders make him look a little bit worse than he did in Blockbench though. But this is definitely pretty good. Cappuccino Assassino is extremely fast as you can see. And if you couldn't tell, he is really good with the swords. I mean, look at that animation. It's definitely not a really bad animation. It's super cool. If you kill Cappuccino, it takes a while, but when you finally do, he drops a netherite sword. The other sword gets killed as well. And since he's good at using the swords, he's actually able to use them to deflect arrows. He is using them, you just can't see it. But he also has a weakness, and that's fall damage, because if you drop a coffee, it's going to spill. Overall, I think Cappuccino Assassino is a really good mob, and for that, I'm going to give him a 10 out of 10. Next, I'll make... and I'm going to use a Ravager to make her. First, I'm going to get rid of these two legs. Next, we'll add our own body, and I'm going to make these legs wider. Now let's change the shape of the face. And next, I'm going to add a long trunk. Now let's give her some big elephant ears. We'll copy that to the other side. And let's add some big feet for her sandals. And I think that looks good. Now let's color it in. I'm going to color the cactus parts green for now. And I'll color the sandals all brown. Now let's add some white tusks. And I'm going to give her a couple of eyes on the side of her face. Next, let's replace all the green with a cactus texture. And I think this looks pretty good. Let's see how she looks in game. This is how Larilla, I don't know how to say the name, looks in game. As you can see, she is really big, and also is a giant cactus, which is why we're in a desert. But she moves really slow due to her size, as you can see. I don't know if that's accurate to elephants, but I don't care if it is. And she also has the ability to teleport through time. I promise it's true. If you want to ride the cactus elephant, you can, but I'm not really sure what's going on here. This would probably hurt because you're sitting on a giant cactus. Well, inside of one, at least. Larilla is immune to a cactus, as you can see, because she's a cactus. And if you kill her, she'll drop a cactus. You gotta be careful doing it in survival, though, because she does have the same effect as Thorn's armor. Overall, I'm going to give the cactus elephant a 7 out of 10. It's just not a very good looking mob. It's kind of just a giant cactus. The next mob is...
Ballerina Cappuccina.
And I'll use a skeleton to make her. First, I'll make her legs a lot smaller, and I'll do the same thing for her body. Now let's move her arms down here as well, and I'll also move down her head. Next, I'm going to change her head into the shape of a teacup, and let's make the little handle on the side. Now I'm going to add her skirt down here like this, and I think this is good. Let's add some color. First, I'm going to color the cup like this, and we'll put the same color on her arms and legs. Now let's color her shirt a light pink, and I'm going to add the coffee to the top of her head with a little swirl like this. Now let's give her a couple of eyes, and I'll draw a mouth down here. Next, I'm gonna add some detail. Okay, I think this is done. Let's see how she looks in game. This is how Ballerina Cappuccina looks in game. I don't know what I was doing making her face. Ignore her face. But other than that, I mean, she looks alright. I will show you something cool though. If you right click her, she can do a dance. It's a very good dance. Not glitchy at all. Ballerina Cappuccina has the lowest HP out of the mobs I've made so far, but she has fast speed from dancing to make up for having no health. The dancing also allows her to be immune to damage like fire damage, as she can dance over it. I know she isn't dancing right now, but just pretend that that's what's happening, okay? If you kill the ballerina, you get a bucket of milk, because that's the closest thing to a cappuccino in Minecraft, and overall, I'm going to give the ballerina a 6 out of 10. I'm not gonna lie, the design for this one was pretty bad. Next, I'm going to make and I'm going to use a cat to make him. First, let's move the body up a bit. Next, I'm going to turn this tail into a fish tail. Now let's add a fin on top, and I'm going to put some fins on the side as well. Now let's give it some feet, and we'll add a chin underneath the cat head like this. Now I think this looks good. Let's give it some color. Let's color the sides of the fish like this, and I'm going to color these fins in red. Now let's change the color of the cat's head, and I'm going to color in the legs this color. Now let's add some fish scales like this, and I'm going to add some detail to his face. Now let's color in underneath, and I think this is looking good. Let's add him to the game. This is how the mob, whose name I'm not even gonna try to pronounce, looks in game. This has got to be one of the stranger looking mobs for sure. It's part fish, part human, and part cat. And part broken, as you can see with the fins. They're kind of glitchy. If you didn't know, this fish cat is supposed to be the fastest brain rot animal, so I added that. There is nothing faster than this in the game. I don't even know what's going on. The fish cat is also supposed to attack dolphins. It's so fast that it can't even attack them properly though. Like that one just no-clipped out of reality. And this one's doing something. And if you can kill a fish cat, it drops a fish. It's either that or I make it drop a cat. I'm not gonna lie, this mob looks strange and is kind of broken, but I'm still gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Honestly, I don't know why. It just feels like it deserves a high rating. The next mob is...
Trallallero, trallallà.
and I'm going to use a dolphin to make it. First, let's change the shape of the tail like this. Now let's change the shape of his head. Next, I'm gonna add a third fin in the back right here. And let's start to add some shoes. And this is pretty good. So let's start coloring his whole body blue, and I'm gonna color this part of the shoe lighter blue, and we'll color the bottom of the shark a whitish color, and I'll add some eyes like this. Now let's give him a mouth, and after changing the design a little bit, I think he looks pretty good. Let's add him to the game. This is how he looks in the game. I think he actually looks pretty good. His shoes are a little bit glitchy, but other than that, everything turned out good. I will say I'm not sure if he's the right size though. I think he's supposed to be a little bit bigger. He also does occasionally make some scary noises. I'm not sure what's up with that. Obviously, since this guy is a shark, he's able to swim in water. Well, kind of. I don't really know why he's bouncing up and down. I guess it's just those shoes making him walk on water. You are also able to ride him in the water, but for some reason you can't control it at all. Yeah, something might be wrong here. Anyways, you are able to ride on land just fine, if you ignore the fact that I'm super high up and that there's water noises. And if you kill one of these guys, you get a pair of those shoes for yourself. They're just diamond boots. They're not special boots. Anyways, I'm gonna give Trallallero Trallallà a 6 out of 10. He looks good, but there was too many broken features. Next, I'm going to make...
Brr, brr, patapim. Il mio cappello è pieno di slim.
and for this one, we are using a warden. First, I'm gonna get rid of all the stuff we don't need. Then let's change the shape of his head a bit. Next, I'm gonna make his arms a lot thinner. Next, I'm gonna start giving him massive feet. And next, I'm gonna add his big nose. Now this is looking pretty good, so it's time to color him in. First, I'm gonna color his feet like this. Now I'll color his nose in slightly darker. And I'm gonna color the leaf parts in green for now. Next, let's draw his beard like this. And I'm gonna give him a couple of eyes. And finally, I've replaced the green parts with leaves like this. And I think he's looking pretty good. Let's see him in game. This is how he looks in the game. As you can see, he's a little bit giant. Look at these massive feet. This is crazy. He also turned out pretty good, except for this glitched part on top of his head. I thought I removed all the warden texture. I guess not. This guy has a ton of health to the point where I wouldn't even try killing him. And he's also super OP in a fight. I wouldn't try fighting him either. He is kind of slow due to his size though, but that doesn't change that he has a lot of health. If you do kill him, you receive a forbidden item, which is air. It's nothing. It was supposed to be a plant pot with a sapling, but that's not an actual item that you can get in the game, which is why I called it a forbidden item. Anyways, he's honestly a good addition to the game. So because of this, I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. It would be a 10 if it wasn't for the glitched warden texture on his head. The next mob I'll make is...
Tung 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 sahur.
and we're going to use an enderman to make him. Let's start by changing his legs, and we'll make his body a lot longer like this. Now let's remove the head, and I'm gonna move his arms and make them shorter as well. Next, let's turn these cubes into his mouth, and now it's time for us to add some color. I'm going to color his entire body like this. Now let's make his cheeks a darker color, and we'll color the back of his eyes in white like this. Next, I'm gonna color his eyes brown, and I'll color his mouth a similar color. Now I'm gonna color in his eyebrows. Next, I'm gonna give him some black pupils, and finally I'll give him his bat. Alright, I think this looks pretty good. Let's see how he looks in game. This is how he turned out in game. Honestly, this is one of the scariest mobs yet. I mean, bro's face looks messed up. He kind of looks like Mr. Potato Head. Honestly, I don't think I want any of these running around in my world. He does not look friendly. I will say he is the first mob to have no mistakes though. Obviously, we gave him a bat for a reason, so let's see him put it to work. As you can see, the bat does crazy knockback, but because he has a stick, he has a lot less health than the previous mobs. And if you kill him, you can get the stick for yourself. Except it's a debug stick. It's not a knockback stick. This is not Bed Wars. Other than that, there isn't much more to say about this guy. He's just kinda there. He has no mistakes though, so I'm gonna have to give him a 9 out of 10. It would be a 10 if he wasn't so scary. Next, I'm going to make...
Boneca ambalabu.
And for this one, we'll obviously use a frog. First, I'm gonna remove the frog parts that we don't need. Next, I'll move the frog head all the way up here. Now let's start to make this part into the shape of a tire. Now I'm gonna turn this cube into his feet. Now this is looking pretty good. It's time for us to add color. First, we'll color his legs and feet in like this. Next, I'm gonna color the entire tire in gray. And I'll put some black tire marks all on the outside of the tire like this. Next, I'm gonna color the inside of the tire a darker black. And I'll add some detail to the feet like this. Finally, I'll change the frog head's color to green. And I think this looks pretty good. It's time to add him to the game. Okay, so this is what he looks like in the game. Honestly, this is what you would expect. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what this thing is even supposed to be. Yeah, that's about it. One thing about this guy is that he's super fast when he finally decides to move. Not sure if he's gonna move though. Okay, I can't even get them to fight each other. I guess they're broken. Or this is the most crazy fight of all time. Oh, hitting him with the sword somehow fixed it. Anyways, as you can see, they drop a slime ball when killed, and yeah, he's super fast when you can get him to move. But because it's almost impossible to get him to move, I'm going to have to give him an 8 out of 10. If he did that more often, it would still probably not be a 10, because I still don't even know what this thing even is. The next mob I'll make is...
Frigo camelo, buffo fardello.
And I'm going to use a camel to make him. First, I'm going to get rid of some of this stuff that we don't need. Next, I'm going to make the body a lot bigger into the shape of a fridge like this. And I'm going to make the front legs a lot thinner. Now it's time to turn this bottom part into boots. Now let's adjust the fridge a little bit more, and it's time to color this in. First, I'll color the fridge light gray like this. Next, let's add a gray line on the edges right here. Now let's add another line to separate the freezer. Now let's turn this piece into the fridge handle. Next, I'm gonna color his shoes a brownish color. Now let's add some laces to the shoes, and I think we're done. Let's see how this guy looks in game. This is how the fridge camel looks in game. Not gonna lie, it's one of the worst looking mobs, but that's because it's literally a camel in a fridge. Still no visible mistakes though, so at least that's good. Despite being part fridge, which is pretty heavy, the camel can still run pretty fast, even faster than Boneca. You can also ride the camel, but the only issue is you get put in the fridge because that's the only place to sit. At least fridge travel is way faster than it is on a regular camel, so there's an upgrade there. Also, if your camel gets into a fight, it is pretty much immune to knockback. As you can see, the bat does nothing to him. Because he's part fridge, he's basically a brick wall. There's no moving this thing. If you manage to kill a fridge camel, it will drop a block of ice. And it's pretty self-explanatory why. Because it's ice. And a fridge is cold. Overall, I decided to give the fridge camel an 8 out of 10. The mob is good, but I just don't like the design. Next, I'm going to make...
Giraffa celeste.
And I'll use a llama to make him, because llamas are kind of close to giraffes. First, let's get rid of these chests. And I'm gonna move the body up like this. Now let's make the neck more giraffe-like. And I'll make his head more like a giraffe too. Next, I'm gonna change the shape of his legs. And I'll make the legs longer as well. Next, I'll add a melon texture to his body like this. And now I'm gonna paint away these extra eyes. And we'll color in the missing parts on his legs. Now it's time to add some giraffe spots all over his body. And I'll start to add some detail to the spots like this. And I think that this is looking good. Let's see how he looks in game. This is how the giraffe looks in game. Yeah, it's definitely a giraffe. I feel like this would actually be a pretty good giraffe design if it wasn't for the giant melon in the middle. I might have made him a little bit big though. I don't think giraffes are this giant. Similar to the last mob, the giraffe is also rideable, although it is a lot slower than the camel is, as you can see. There's also still a seating problem like there was on the fridge as well. The main difference here is that the giraffe can fly though. Yeah, the melon made no sense, so I decided to make it make even less sense. We got flying melon giraffes in 2025. I also couldn't think of a drop for this mob, so once you finally kill it, it drops a totem. Yeah, this is probably the most random mob so far. Flying melon giraffe is honestly a pretty high quality mob though, so for that, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Honestly, I don't know why. I'm just doing stuff at this point. I'm going to be remaking Minecraft mobs into the entities from Roblox stores. First, we're going to make Seek, and I'm going to use a warden to make him. Let's remove all this stuff, and we'll make his body smaller. Now let's also shrink his legs, and we'll make his arms smaller as well. Now let's shrink his head, and we'll color him fully black. Now let's draw his eye, and we'll expand his face out on the side a little bit. Finally, let's add some red spots on his body, and we'll put a few on his legs. Alright, that looks good. Let's see it in game. We'll just act like I didn't forget to texture the bottom of the head. Honestly, I think this looks pretty good. I think his proportions are kind of off though. Yo, why is he attacking the sheep? What did the sheep do? Let's find Seek in the deep dark. And of course, we'll watch him emerge from the ground. Oh, he's kind of stuck in a block. This would be way more terrifying than the warden. Imagine you're walking around in a cave and then you see this thing chasing you. Let's spawn an army of Seeks. And let's see if they can defeat the Wither. Oh no, they're already surrounding the Wither. Oh my god, the Wither is getting launched. Yeah, the Wither literally has no chance. I don't think the Wither even killed one of them. Alright, I'm going to give Seek an 8 out of 10. He could have been better. It's time for the next mob. Next, we'll make Figure, and I'm going to make him from an Enderman. Let's color him brownish red, and we'll extend his face out a bit, and we'll also extend out the other sides. Now let's give him some teeth, and we'll move them to every side of his mouth. Next, let's color the back of his mouth, and we'll add his white ribs, and let's copy those down 2 more times. And I think that looks good. Let's see it in game. I'm not going to lie, the particles kind of ruin him. That looks better. Now, if you look in an Enderman's eyes, it will get mad at you, but Seek has no eyes, so what will happen? Okay, the same thing happens. I like how his head is just floating now. Let's go find Figure in the end. Okay, there's a ton of these guys in here. Let's see if Figure can beat Seek. Okay, Figure had no chance. I honestly thought he would teleport away at least. Okay, Seek has to go. Oh god, they're catching up to me. Okay, I see why this guy is scary now. Oh no, I got stuck. I give Figure a 9 out of 10. He turned out pretty good. It's time for the next mob. Next, we'll make Screech, and I'm going to use a Guardian to make him. Let's remove his tail, and we'll also remove these orange spikes. Now let's make the body a bit smaller, and we'll color it fully black. Now let's give him a big red mouth, and we'll add some darker lips. Next, let's draw his teeth, and we'll add the black spots oozing down. Now let's add his eyes, and we'll add the squiggly things coming from his body. And I think we're done. Let's see it in game. Oh my god, he's moving really fast. And the way he's bouncing around like this honestly makes him 10 times scarier. Like, what are you doing if you see this thing coming after you? Okay, he's dying. Oh, well, I guess he's in the water now. Honestly, he might be even scarier underwater. Let's spawn an army of Screeches. That looks so weird. And let's see if they can kill me. Wait, what are they all doing to me? This is actually terrifying. Oh god, I'm on half a heart. Yeah, hopefully nothing like this is ever added to the game. I'm going to give Screech a 10 out of 10. He was scary. It's time for the next mob. Next, we'll make Glitch, and I'm going to make him from an iron golem. Let's make his body smaller, and we'll also shrink his legs. Now let's do the same for his arms, and we'll color his body fully black. Now let's add some purple spots around his body, and we'll add some on his arms and legs as well. Now let's add some blue spots too, and we'll also add some yellow spots. And I think that looks pretty good. Let's see it in game. Okay, part of his face is not part of his face, but honestly he's supposed to look glitched out, so I think that's fine. Somehow I actually think this looks pretty good. Let's see if Glitch can beat Screech. Never mind, it looks like Screech didn't want to fight. Let's try this again away from the cave. Okay, that was too easy. And he dropped raw cod. That's kind of weird. Let's see if Glitch can beat Seek. Okay, that was a really unfair fight. Let's spawn 10 glitches and see if they can beat Seek. Okay, they're not doing too bad. Oh, they got him. Only 4 of them died, surprisingly. Alright, I'm going to give Glitch a 9 out of 10. He looks pretty good. It's time for the next mob. Next, we'll make Rush, and I'm going to use a bee to make him. Let's remove all this stuff, and we'll make his body thinner. Now let's extend his body out a bit, and we'll extend out the sides to make him look circular. And we'll also do this on the top and bottom. Now let's add his dark gray mouth, and we'll add his eyes, and his nose thing. Now let's give him some yellow teeth, and we'll add some teeth on the bottom as well. Now let's add some detail to his face, and we'll make it a bit darker under his teeth. And I think that's good. Let's see it in game. Oh, that is not what we want. Okay, that looks better. Honestly, this might be the scariest mob we've made yet. The way he flies is terrifying. Let's see a baby rush. Okay, that's not as bad. At least it looks like I could beat this one in a fight. Let's spawn an army of rushes, and let's see if I can get away from them. Oh god, I'm still on half a heart. Okay, now we're ready. Okay, he's not as scary now that I know how slow he moves. This would still be terrifying if I saw this in the game. Alright, I'm going to give Rush a 10 out of 10. He turned out really good. It's time for the next mob. Next, we'll make Jack, and I'm going to make him from a skeleton. Let's color his body fully black, and we'll add his nose, and we'll shape his mouth and eye. Now let's add his teeth. Okay, this doesn't look good. Let's add his nose again, and we'll also draw his mouth. Now let's add his eye, and we'll add some small yellow teeth. And now we'll color the sides of his head half white and half black. And I think that looks good. Let's see it in game. Oh yeah, nighttime. Okay, that's better. Honestly, I don't know whether I like this or not. I feel like the yellow teeth kind of ruin it. Like, it just looks like he hasn't been to the dentist in a while. Let's spawn an army of Jacks, and let's see if the Jack army can beat Glitch. Oh god, they're all shooting each other. Glitch is just down here getting free kills because half of them are fighting. Okay, Glitch basically won. It's up to these 5 jacks over here who don't seem to be interested in fighting him. Oh, they actually did it. I'm surprised they won that, considering half of them killed each other. Alright, I'm going to give Jack an 8 out of 10. He doesn't look that good in Minecraft. I added every monster from Rainbow Friends Chapter 2 to Minecraft. First, I made Cyan, and I used a Ravager because they look exactly the same. I removed this stuff, colored her cyan, and gave her some eyes. I added Cyan to the game, and she was actually looking pretty good. Oh wait, she's attacking all the villagers. I don't really want her to be doing that. That also made me notice that her legs look really bad when she's running, but other than that, she looks fine. She also has a really big shadow. That looks kind of funny. In the game, you get chased by Cyan, so I decided to see how that looks in Minecraft. Cyan is really fast in the actual game, and she's also pretty fast in Minecraft too, so that's pretty accurate. Okay, this is actually kind of scary. She looks really hungry. Oh wow, she also does a lot of damage. I can't let her hit me again. That would be bad. Since Cyan does so much damage, I decided to see if she can beat an iron golem in a fight. Okay, I don't even have to use the stick. They're already mad. Come on, Cyan. You can beat this guy easily. Okay, never mind. I was wrong. It looks like the iron golem can beat Cyan easily. Oh wait, why did she drop a saddle? That's kind of weird. I decided to give Cyan a 9 out of 10. She looks really good, and her chase in Minecraft is really accurate. It's time for the next mob. Next, I made Yellow, and I decided to use a hoglin to make him. I shrunk his whole body, colored him yellow, and gave him his propeller thing on his back. I added Yellow to the game, and I can't really tell if he looks good or bad. To be fair, Yellow is quite hard to make, so this honestly doesn't look that bad. He also has a big shadow just like Cyan. That's really weird. Since hoglins can't live in the overworld, I decided to go to the nether to find a wild yellow. Okay, here's a group of yellows that I definitely didn't spawn in. I found them naturally. Oh yeah, there's also a baby yellow, but I think something is wrong with him. Let me know in the comments if you can tell what's wrong with him. It's kind of hard to see. Since Yellow is supposed to be able to fly, I decided to see if I can make Yellow fly in Minecraft as well. Okay, now you might think hoglins can't fly, but there's actually a secret in Minecraft where if you look at the ground for 3 seconds and then look all the way up as fast as you can make all the hoglins start to fly. It's definitely not a command, it's just a secret feature. I decided to give Yellow an 8 out of 10. He doesn't look that bad, he's just really hard to make. It's time for the next mob. Next I made Pink, and I made Pink from a zombie. I bent his legs, colored him pink, and gave him some eyes. Finally I colored in his eyes, gave him a mouth, and then I added some small cheeks. I added Pink to the game and he was burning. Okay, I should probably fix that. When Pink is not burning, he actually looks pretty good. There is a slight problem with his legs, they aren't really connected, but other than that, I'm not seeing anything wrong with him. Since Pink was supposed to be added to the game, I decided to make him battle Cyan and Yellow to get a spot in the game. First, we'll do Cyan versus Pink. Okay, that was kind of embarrassing. I don't think he even hit her. What about Yellow versus Pink? Okay, this fight is actually looking a little close. And Pink still died. I guess we know why he was benched from both chapters. I decided to spawn a baby Pink to see what he looks like, and he looked about the same as the big one. I will say the baby one runs a lot faster than the big one though. This guy is going crazy. I decided to give Pink a 9 out of 10. He honestly turned out pretty good, other than his legs. That's the only problem. It's time for the next mob. Next we'll make Orange, and we will make him from a wolf. Let's change the shape of his tail, and we'll rotate his body. Now let's give him some arms, and we'll give him some teeth. Okay, these are way too big. That looks better. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys see the problem here. That should be good enough. Okay, his head definitely does not work though. I guess wolves bend their head a lot. Let's spawn a baby Orange. It's the same thing with a bigger head. Let's try to tame Orange. Yeah, this is perfectly normal. Nothing is wrong here. Now he just has a big red square and his tail is broken. Let's spawn an army of oranges, and let's see them take down a skeleton. Okay, the skeleton got eaten in like 2 seconds. Come on, Orange, take down the warden. Oh no, that was fast. Alright, I'm going to give Orange a 6 out of 10. He was kinda cursed. It's time for the next mob. Next, we are going to make Purple, and we are going to make him from a frog. Let's delete all this stuff, and we'll change the shape of his body. Now let's color him purple. Now let's extend out his head, and we'll make it a little bit round. Now finally, let's give him some eyes, and we'll add some black pupils inside. Out of all the mobs to break, somehow this one isn't broken. Surprisingly, I think he looks really good. Okay, these vines need to get out of the way. What about a baby Purple? Oh yeah, frogs don't have babies. Let's see Purple eat this slime. Never mind, he's not hungry. Oh, never mind, he just attacked him. He looks so weird when he's swimming. Let's spawn an army of purples. Wow, Purple jumps so high. The noise they make is really interesting. Let's see if Purple can take down Orange. Okay, I don't think Purple knows how to fight. Let's spawn a bunch of slimes. Okay, they're all too big. I love how there's no animation, the slime just travels to their mouth. Alright, I'm going to give Purple a 10 out of 10. I thought he looked really funny. It's time for the next mob. Next I made Red, and we are going to make him from a strider. Let's remove his hair, and we'll shrink his body. Now let's make him a bit shorter, and we'll color his head red, and let's color his pupils black, and finally we'll give him a couple shoes, and I think that looks good. Let's see him in game. Okay, something is definitely wrong with his legs. But other than that, I think he looks good. Oh god, why does it take so long for his legs to turn? Let's go to the nether. And here we have a red walking on some lava. Okay, seriously, what happened to his legs? It's like they're backwards or something. I mean, now they're on the right side, but somehow that made it worse. Okay, that's close enough. We're just gonna ignore that. Let's ride a red. Wait, this is the wrong fishing rod. Okay, this looks weird like it usually does. Let's see a baby red. Okay, baby red just has no legs. Let's spawn an army of reds. Okay, red army, follow me. Isn't this weird? Because red is supposed to tell me what to do. Alright, I'm going to give red an 8 out of 10. He looked pretty good. It's time for the next mob. Next, we will make green, and we will make him from the warden. Let's shrink his body and head. Now let's color him fully green, and we'll color the back of his mouth black. Next, let's give him a bunch of white teeth, and we'll copy these to the top. Next, we'll extend out his eyes, and we'll make his eyes circular. Now, finally, let's draw his pupils, and that looks good. Let's see it in game. I don't know how I feel about this one. There's something about the way he moves that is very terrifying. He's also very tall. I'm not sure if that's accurate. I'm not going to lie, he kind of looks like a cactus monster. Let's find green in the deep dark. Of course, we have to see him emerge from the ground. I'm not gonna lie, that might be scarier than the warden. I wonder how this thing looks when it's angry. We'll give him a sheep that he can't hit. I'm sorry, sheep. Okay, that wasn't that cool. Let's spawn an army of greens, and let's see if the Flash can beat them. Oh, he's running at him. Yeah, the Flash will not win that. I give the green rainbow friend a 10 out of 10. He's honestly scarier than the warden. It's time for the next mob. Next, we are going to make blue, and we are going to make him from an iron golem. Let's make his arms a bit smaller, and we'll do the same for his legs. Now let's change the shape of his body, and we'll color him fully blue. Now let's add his crown, and we'll color it yellow. Next, we'll add the spiky parts on top, and we'll add his eyes, and let's put the circle inside this one, and we'll add the X to the other one. Now let's draw his mouth, and we'll put the drool on the side, and I think that looks pretty good. Let's see it in game. That looks pretty good, I think. Let's see if blue can beat Gordon Ramsay easily. Let's see if blue can beat Thor and Gordon Ramsay. Still too easy. Let's see if blue can beat Sully. Yeah, blue literally had no chance. Let's spawn an army of blues. Oh no. Oh god, this is bad. I think I spawned a little too many. There's so many of them, they can't even move. Sully's not even fighting back. He knows he's doomed. Never mind. Wow, he actually almost beat them. Well, he almost beat like 3% of them. I'm going to give blue a 10 out of 10. I think he looks perfect.
I'm going to be remaking Minecraft mobs into Garden of Banban 6. The first character I'll make is Sir Dadadoo, and I'm gonna use a Ravager because they're both big and scary. First, let's remove all the stuff we don't need, and we'll start to make the shape of his body. Now let's start giving him an arm on the side. Next, I'm gonna start to give him a head, and I think this is good. So now let's start to add some color. First, I'm gonna color his body fully light gray. Now let's color his hands the same color as his head, and now we'll just give him some teeth on the bottom like this. Now finally, let's start to give him a tie, and I think this is looking good. Let's see how he looks in game. This is how Sir Dadadoo looks in game. He definitely looks pretty scary. He also kind of looks like he's from Monsters Inc. Does anyone else see that? It's probably just the tie that he's wearing. It makes him look like he's ready for work. Since Sir Dadadoo kind of looks like a slug, I decided to make it so that he walks very slowly. But don't let this trick you though, because just like in the actual game, Sir Dadadoo is able to move very quickly if he's attacking you. And if you get hit by Sir Dadadoo, he will give you all these potion effects, because in the game, he possesses some of the other monsters, so this is kind of the same thing. Subscribe or Sir Dadadoo will possess you. If you manage to kill Sir Dadadoo, he drops a Dadadoo tooth, which does the same thing as his attack does. It possesses things. And overall, I think Sir Dadadoo turned out really good. He looks a lot like the actual monster. So because of this, I decided to give Sir Dadadoo a 10 out of 10. Next, I'm gonna make the nanny, and I'll use a pig because the nanny is either a pig or a cow, but I don't know which. So first, let's get rid of these back legs. Now let's start to shape the body like this. Now let's make these legs a lot bigger. Now let's change the shape of her head a little bit, and we'll just give her some floppy ears like this. And I think this is looking good, so now let's color her in. First, I'm gonna color her body a grayish blue color. Now let's color her legs a little bit darker. Now let's color her nose blue, and we'll give her some bright yellow eyes like this. Now let's give her a blue mouth as well, and I think this is looking good. Let's see how she looks in game. This is how the nanny looks in game. I still can't tell if she's supposed to be a pig or a cow. Come on guys, which one is it? You have to tell me. Okay, I don't think they know either. In the game, the nanny is seen lurking in one of the first rooms before jump scaring the player, so I decided to make it so that the nanny is mainly found in dark areas as well. The nanny also moves quite slowly, similar to Sir Dadadoo, because this is how she's seen moving at first. But don't let this trick you again, because the nanny attacks you super quickly if you get too close, similar to her jump scare. I decided to make it so that if you kill the nanny, she drops a pork chop, and the reason I did that is because she looks like a pig. I'm sorry if she's a cow, I seriously can't tell. And overall, I think the nanny looks pretty good in game, but her body design just looks a little bit boring. So because of this, I'm going to give the nanny an 8 out of 10. The next character I'll make is Syringeon, and I'm gonna use a sniffer to make him because they both start with S. First, I'm gonna remove all the stuff we don't need, and I'm gonna turn his legs into feet like this, and we'll add a leg on top of the feet as well. Now let's start to add his neck neck like this, and we'll add his head on the top of his neck as well. Now let's start to give him some arms, and now we're gonna start coloring him in. First, I'm gonna color his entire body a bright pink color, and now let's give him a mouth like this, and we'll also start to give him some eyes on the top. Next, I'm gonna add his surgeon tools that he has on each of his hands, and I think this is looking good. Let's see how he looks in game. This is how Syringeon looks in game. This guy doesn't look that bad. I don't really know why he's turning like this though. This is definitely a problem. But other than that, Syringeon looks good. I especially like his face. It looks kind of funny. In the game, Syringeon is referred to as the surgeon, so I decided to make it so that he does surgery on you when he hits you. Okay, it's not actually surgery. He just freezes you and starts taking your hearts. I don't know how to make this guy an actual surgeon. Something I also just noticed is that Syringeon's arms aren't actually supposed to be in the air like this. His picture on the wall deceived me. If you kill Syringeon, he drops a beetroot, and the only reason I made him drop this random item is because it looks like a heart, and he is the surgeon. Overall, I don't think Syringeon turned out that bad, but there are a few things that are kind of weird. So because of this, I decided to give him an 8 out of 10. Next, I'm gonna make the naughty ones. And I'll use an endermite to make them because they're both kind of the same. So let's remove a few pieces like this. Next, I'm gonna change the shape of his body a little bit, and we'll give him a head on the top of his body. Now let's rotate the bottom of his body like this, and we'll start to give him a tail on the back right here. Next, I'm gonna add some ears on the top of his head. Okay, this is looking pretty good. Now it's time to give him some color. First, let's color his body this bluish color, and we'll color the inside of his ears purple. Now let's color his teeth bright white, and I'll actually change the color of his body because it's not supposed to be dark like this. Alright, I think this is looking pretty good. Let's see how he looks in game. This is how the naughty ones look in game. Honestly, they pretty much look exactly the same as they do in game. The only thing that's really different is that we are seeing them in the light, which I'm not sure if that is even possible. The naughty ones are incredibly fast, as you can see, and this makes them actually pretty scary. Well, I don't know about scary, but they're sort of like a buff silverfish. The naughty ones also won't attack you when there's light around, but if you run into one of these guys in a cave, then you might be in trouble. I also gave the naughty ones a jumping attack animation, which is supposed to be like their jump scare, and if you manage to kill these guys, they drop an amethyst shard, and I don't really know why. I just picked it because it's purple. Overall, I think the naughty ones turned out exactly how they should have, so because of this, I'm going to give them a 10 out of 10 as well. The next character I'll make is Kittysaurus, and I'm gonna use a cat to make her because she is partially a cat. First, let's get rid of these legs, and we'll move these body parts and change the shape of her body. Next, we'll start to give her some feet down here, and we'll add some legs on top as well. Next, I'm gonna change the shape of her head as well. Next, I'm gonna give her some T-Rex arms like this, and I think this is looking pretty good. Now let's add some color. First, I'm gonna color her body an orangish color. Now let's color her feet white, and let's give her some teeth as well, and I think this is looking good. Let's see how she looks in game. This is how Kittysaurus looks in game. As you can see, she is massive. She also kind of looks more like a dog than a cat, but I guess that's fine. She still looks scary either way. Similar to the naughty ones, Kittysaurus is also incredibly fast, which makes it basically impossible to escape her. Fortunately, this is Garten of Banban 6 though, so we don't have to worry about her attacking us. Since Kittysaurus is part cat, I decided to make it so that you can tame her. And I decided to make it so that you tame her with rotten flesh because it just seems like an item that would be used to tame her. If you tame Kittysaurus, you are also able to ride her, although I'm not really sure if this is the right place to be riding on top of her. But it's still better than some of the mobs I've made, I guess. Overall, I think Kittysaurus looks pretty good, but she also looks a little bit like a dog. So because of this, I decided to give her a 9 out of 10. Next, I'm gonna make Bitter Giggle, and I'll use a pillager to make him. First, let's remove some of the stuff we don't need, and we'll change the shape of his legs, and we'll also change his arms. Now let's start to shape his head a little bit like this, and we'll just color his body fully green for now. Next, I'm gonna split his body into 2 colors by making this side purple. Now let's add these spots on the purple side of his body like this. Next, I'm gonna give him a mouth like this. Now finally, let's give him some eyes, and I think this is good. Let's add Bitter Giggle to the game. This is how Bitter Giggle looks in game. I will say this is not one of my best mobs, but he is a pretty difficult character to make, as he has a lot of random parts extruding out of him for no reason. In the game, Bitter Giggle tries to fight Sir Dadadoo, so I made it so that they fight in Minecraft as well. Although it's pretty much the same outcome, there's no way Bitter Giggle will beat Sir Dadadoo. If you right-click on Bitter Giggle, I gave him a laughing animation because he likes to tell jokes, and right-clicking him also gives him a random chance to tell a joke as well. I sure hope nothing bad happens because of that. If you kill Bitter Giggle, he drops a clownfish because he's funny, and clowns are supposed to be funny. And overall, I think Bitter Giggle isn't the best looking mob, but I do like some of his features. So because of this, I'm going to give Bitter Giggle a 7 out of 10. Next, I made Tardigrade, and I made him from a horse. You'll see why. I got rid of all this stuff, colored him blue, and then I added his wings. I added Tardigrade to the game, and he actually looked pretty good, but I think there is something wrong with him. Yeah, for some reason he's kind of dirty, and water isn't fixing it. I figured out how to fix this, and he was actually looking really good, except for this one spot on his beak, but we'll ignore it. I decided to spawn a baby Tardigrade, and this is what he looked like. I like how he just follows the big one around just like in the game. You're even able to put him on the big one's back as well. Oh wait, I guess he hasn't tamed him yet. In the actual game, you have to ride Tardigrade, so I decided to try that for myself. Why does he keep doing that when he kicks me off? It looks really weird. I'm honestly surprised with how perfect this looks. I mean, the legs look a little bit weird, but this looks really good. I'm even able to make Tardigrade jump. This is insane. I decided to give Tardigrade a 10 out of 10. Honestly, there was nothing bad about him at all. It's time for the next mob. Next, I made Nabnalina. I decided to make Nabnalina from an iron golem. I colored her fully black, gave her a mouth, and finally I added her arms. Nabnalina looks really good in game as well. The arms look kind of weird, but I think she's just asserting dominance. It's fine. Also, the legs are missing texture, but you didn't see that. This never happened. In the game, you have to inject Nabnalina with some kind of chemicals to make her come to life, so I decided to try that in game. Yeah, she doesn't seem to be drinking it. I guess she isn't thirsty. Nabnalina honestly looks pretty strong, so let's see if she can take out some pillagers. Okay, the pillagers don't really have a chance. They're getting destroyed. Yeah, Nabnalina didn't take any damage, but we'll give her an iron ingot anyway. She deserves it. There isn't much to do with Nabnalina, so I decided to make her ride Tardigrade. Okay, I might have done that backwards, but honestly, this is better. Tardigrade's legs probably needed a break anyway, although I'm not sure if Nabnalina is able to see anymore. I decided to give Nabnalina a 9 out of 10. It would have been a 10, but I can't look past the bra pose. It's too cursed. Next, I made Hijacked Banban. I made him from a zombie. I changed the shape of his body, colored him red, and then I gave him some eyes. After that, I added his mouth, gave him some horns, and added his feet. I added Hijacked Banban to the game, and he was honestly looking pretty scary. He also looks like Venom, or maybe that's just me. I always say things like this, and then they look nothing like it. Let's spawn a baby Banban. This guy's kinda fast. This would actually be scary if it was the real zombie. I decided to spawn a real Banban, and then I tested which one of them is the best Banban. Banban has a sword, so he probably wins this. Yeah, Hijacked Banban didn't stand a chance. Banban destroyed him. I spawned an army of Hijacked Banbans, and then I decided to get chased by them. Okay, he's not really that scary when he chases you at 0.1 miles per hour. The babies look kinda crazy though. I decided to give Hijacked Banban a 9 out of 10. He looks really good. I'm just disappointed that he lost to real Banban. It's time for the next mob. Next, I made Tomataki and Chamataki. I hope that's how you say it. For these guys, I used a wolf. First, I made their shell, and then I added the chameleon. I forgot which one he is. And after that, I added the other guy. I added them to the game, and they honestly didn't look the best, yet somehow this one took me the longest to make. They're also not really the right size. I'm pretty sure these guys are huge in the game. But I mean, it doesn't look that bad, right? I decided to spawn a baby one of them, and it just made it even worse. Now they are microscopic. In the game, Chamataki attacks you with his tongue, and I'm not really sure how to make that in Minecraft. So instead, I decided to feed him some steak because I'm guessing he uses his tongue while eating. Tomataki shoots cyan balls from his mouth, so yeah. They can't be making that sound. I feel bad. I decided to tame one of these guys, and then I made them fight a Hijacked Banban. Okay, Banban lost again. He can't keep taking L's like this. I decided to give Tomataki and Chamataki a 5 out of 10. They just look kinda bad. That's all. It's time for the next mob. Next, I decided to make Mr. Kebab Man, and I made him from an Enderman because they're kinda built the same. I deleted everything, colored him gray, and then I gave him some arms. After that, I added his eyes, put the bandage thing on the back, and gave him his party hats. I added Mr. Kebab Man to the game, and he honestly wasn't looking that bad. I mean, I don't know if he was looking good, but he's definitely not bad. I like how when he walks, he actually looks good because I removed the legs. In the game, Mr. Kebab Man is supposed to mimic Banban, so I decided to see if he can take out Hijacked Banban as well. Come on, Hijacked Banban, you got this one. No more L's. Okay, I'm done with Hijacked Banban. He's never winning a fight. I decided to visit the end to find more Mr. Kebab Mans, and then I did what I always do. It's kinda scary how they just like hover to me. I think I made a little too many of them angry. I decided to give Mr. Kebab Man a 7 out of 10. He doesn't look that bad, but he also doesn't look that good. It's time for the next mob. Next, I made Stinger Flynn. I decided to make him from an Elder Guardian. I removed all this stuff, colored him orange, and then I added the spot around his eye. Next, I added his eye, gave him some legs, and then extended the legs out a bit. Stinger Flynn actually looks pretty good this time around. He's a lot better than the old one I had. He is also a lot bigger because apparently Stinger Flynn isn't tiny. Since Stinger Flynn is jumping around like this, I decided to spawn him in the water. Bro was just going crazy on the squids. What did the squids do to him? He honestly looks pretty good in the water. There is one thing wrong though. His legs are definitely supposed to move, but I don't really know how to do that, so it's fine. Stinger Flynn was driving when they were all going to the beach, so I decided to see if he can drive a car. Okay, I don't really think he's able to drive the car. He's not moving. He's also way bigger than the car. You can't even really see it. He doesn't really want to get in a boat either. I guess this guy doesn't like vehicles. In the game, you also get to play as Stinger Flynn, so I decided to give that one a try. He's kind of just vibing. Not much is really getting done. This is boring. I decided to give Stinger Flynn a 9 out of 10. If his legs moved, it would be a 10, but unfortunately, that's never gonna happen. It's time for the next mob. Next, I made Queen Bouncelia. I used a Hoglin to make her. I colored her body purple, gave her a face, and then added her wand. I added her to the game, and her head was looking kind of broken, so I decided to fix that. Okay, that's still a little messed up, but it's good enough. Also, her feet are both on the same leg, but I'm not fixing that. Only one fix per mob. Since Queen Bouncelia was made from a Hoglin, I decided to go find her in the Nether. I'm not usually a fan of these guys because they like to hit you from far away, but I guess for Queen Bouncelia, I'll make an exception. I decided to spawn an army of Queen Bouncelias, and then I made them all chase me. Hopefully this doesn't happen in the actual game, because these guys are kind of scary. Also, their legs look kind of funny. I'm going to give Queen Bouncelia an 8 out of 10. Other than the broken stuff, she looks pretty good. It's time for the next mob. Next, I made an Opilichick. I used a parrot to make the Opilichick, and I decided to make the shiny one, or whatever you would call it. You probably wouldn't call it shiny, it's not a Pokemon. The Opilichicks are so tiny in game, and they actually kind of sound like the chicks from the actual game. I'm pretty sure dodo birds can't fly, so that's kind of a problem, but other than that, they look great. In the game, you have to abduct all the Opilichicks and move them to their beds, so I decided to try that in Minecraft as well. What? Who is this? Where did the Opilichick go? That was interesting, but I mean it worked. I can also spawn a baby Opilibird, and it kinda looks like the default Opilichick texture. Although this one isn't as cool, all I can really do is feed it a bunch of seeds. Oh, that's not an Opilichick anymore. In Garden of Banban 2, there are 6 Opilichicks, and in the first game, you feed Opilibird 6 eggs, so there's definitely some interesting birth methods going on there, so let's test to see if this is true. Wait, it actually worked. I decided to give the Opilichick a 10 out of 10. Overall, it looks really good, and you are even able to keep one of these as a pet. Wait, my bad, Opilibird, I didn't know. Next, I'm going to make Slow Celine. Since Slow is literally in her name, I made her from a turtle. I gave her a big green shell, added her long neck, and then I gave her some bright white teeth. After that, I added her 2 large eyes, and I drew a swirl on each side of her shell. I think she turned out pretty good. The eyes and the mouth are really creepy, just like in the actual game. Let's see a baby Slow Celine. I like how it's just a really small version of the regular one. In the actual game, Slow Celine chases you down a hallway, so I decided to add that as well. Okay, this is actually kind of scary. She's just slowly approaching. She is also not looking away, so I guess I have to keep standing still. Because I made Slow Celine from a turtle, I can also put her in the water and she will be fine. Okay, she's not really that slow anymore. Imagine going to the beach and there was just a massive snail swimming around in the water. Probably happens in Florida. I decided to give Slow Celine a 9 out of 10. She looks really good in game, but she's kind of boring in general. It's time for the next mob. In the game, there are 7 different Fiddles crew members, so I made all of those next. I used a Strider to make them all, and first I made brown Fiddles. This is the actual color used in the game. I don't really know how this is brown. Next, I made Cyan Fiddles, and there's a giant version of him in the game, but I don't know how to make that, so instead I just made a giant stack of Cyan Fiddles. I'm sure the ones on the top are fine. Next, I made Emerald Fiddles, and this is him in game, and then I made Orange Fiddles. Orange Fiddles only has 1 tooth. I wonder what happened to the other one. Pink Fiddles has 2 teeth, and apparently he is dead in the game, so I'm just gonna have to. Next, I made Red Fiddles, and he is my favorite because his eyes just stay like this forever. Like, how is he able to see anything? Here's me riding a Red Fiddles as well. He honestly looks better than the actual Strider. The last Fiddles is Yellow Fiddles, who apparently has a pirate-like appearance because of his missing eye. So cause of this, I am kidnapping him in a boat. I'm going to give the Fiddles a 63 out of 10. There's 7 of them, so they get 7x the score. Next, I made Sheriff Toadster. I made him a frog because that's probably what he is. I changed the shape of his body, colored him the same color as the McDonald's villain, and made his weird shaped head. Next, I added his teeth, and I gave him his badge on his chest. Finally, I colored in his belly and gave him this little hat on top of his eye. I'm not gonna lie, he doesn't really look like he's smiling. Instead, he looks like the bully from Arthur. His arms are also completely broken. I'm pretty sure I attached them to his legs. Sheriff Toadster probably fights crime, so I'm going to steal an Opilichick in front of him and see what he does. He doesn't appear to be doing too much. He is jumping really high though. He definitely made it through police training. Maybe an army of Toadsters will stop me. I already knew they wouldn't. I don't know why I did this. Oh, I guess Sheriff Toadster is hungry. I'm going to give Sheriff Toadster a 7 10 out of 10. He looks kinda weird, honestly. It's time for the next mob. Next, I made Nab Nab. I made Nab Nab from a spider because he kinda looks like a spider. I gave him some long legs and arms, changed the shape of his body, and then I colored him fully blue. After that, I gave him some teeth, then I added his tongue, and finally I gave him 3 eyes. Okay, I don't think his legs are supposed to look like that. I fixed his legs, and then he looked a lot better in game. Well, I don't know about better, but putting him sideways actually makes him look scary. In the game, you get chased by Nab Nab, so I decided to try that in Minecraft. Yeah, this is definitely not something you want chasing you. It just looks so weird because in the actual game, he's on the roof and not on the ground. Nab Nab is also supposed to have a birthday hat, and I didn't even notice, so we'll just pretend I added a hat. Also, if you can't tell, Nab Nab is Ban Ban spelt backwards, so because of that, you should eat Dirkbus. But I decided to get Sheriff Toadster to lock him up for good. He sure won't be escaping this jail, especially not through the vents. I decided to give Nab Nab a 6 out of 10. He looks kinda cursed. I'm sorry, Nab Nab, I meant 10, I swear. Next, I decided to make Zolphius. I don't know what Zolphius is, but he's big, so I made him from a ghast. Zolphius is just a circle with a face that looks like it was drawn by a 1-year-old, so I decided to do that. The only difference is I'm not 1 years old, I think. I added Zolphius to the game, and it kinda reminds me of when I made Ambush. They look very similar. I would have to say that Zolphius is scarier though. It's something about the amazing art skill required to make his face. I decided to visit the Nether to find a wild Zolphius. He kinda looks like a ping pong paddle, so let's see who will win a game of ping pong, me or Zolphius. I don't think he wanted to play. I wonder what it will look like if I fill the whole sky with Zolphiuses. Yeah, this is a pretty good Minecraft experience. I literally cannot hear anything. I'm going to give Zolphius an 8 out of 10. He's a big flying drawing. How bad could he be? It's time for the next mob. Next, I'm making Mini Josh. It is unknown if Mini Josh will be hostile, but I'm assuming he is, so I made him from a silverfish because they are small and hostile. I deleted all of these things, added his legs, made his body bigger, and then I gave him some arms. After that, I added his head, colored him fully green, and then I added his eyes. Mini Josh looks like he's sad, so I gave him a sad mouth, and then I added him to the game. I was surprised with how he looks in game. All this waddling looks pretty weird. Also, none of his body parts move, which makes him look pretty bad. I decided to spawn Mini Josh with Jumbo Josh, and what happened next was shocking. I'm just kidding, you probably expected this. Next, I spawned an army of Mini Joshes, and then I made them fight Jumbo Josh. This is like a Mr. Beast video, 100 kids versus 1 adult. Mini Joshes could actually win this one, there's a lot of them. Never mind, Jumbo Josh seems to be invincible. I decided to give Mini Josh a 5 out of 10, he's kinda missing a lot of things, like moving arms and legs. It's time for the next mob. You're probably wondering where Jumbo Josh came from. I used the Warden to make Jumbo Josh, and I gave him a big head, a creepy mouth, and then I added some green texture all around him. Jumbo Josh is massive in game, and he actually looks really good as the Warden. Jumbo Josh also tells kids to eat fruits and vegetables to become strong like him, but honestly, I wouldn't let him near your kids. I went to the deep dark to see Jumbo Josh emerge from the ground, and then I fed him some fruit and vegetables like he says. Unfortunately, Jumbo Josh didn't want to eat the food, and instead he wanted to eat me. I would say that I killed him to try and make myself look cool, but let's be honest, we all know what happened. I'm going to give Jumbo Josh a 10 out of 10, and that has nothing to do with him holding me hostage. It's time for the next mob. Next, I made Ban Ban. I made Ban Ban from a wither skeleton. I colored him fully red, gave him some eyes and a mouth, and then I added his big tongue. I then gave him his birthday hats on his head, and finally I changed his arms a little bit. Apparently changing his arms a little bit didn't matter though, because they fully disappeared in the game. Oh wait, they're inside of him. I decided to fix his arms, and this is how Ban Ban looks in game. I decided to visit the Nether to try and find Ban Ban myself. Ignore the Netherrack, I don't know how this got here. When you think of it, Ban Ban is a devil, so he's supposed to be in the Nether. Wait guys, I was just kidding, I didn't say that. To make things a little more cursed, I decided to replace all the heads on the Wither with the Ban Ban heads. Now let's see who will win, the Ban Ban, Wither, or Jumbo Josh. Why is Jumbo Josh not fighting back? Okay, now he's going crazy. Alright, Jumbo Josh couldn't do anything, Ban Ban was flying. I decided to give Ban Ban a 6 out of 10, he doesn't look that great. It's time for the next mob. Next, let's make Banbalina. I used a Wither skeleton for Ban Ban, so I made Banbalina from a skeleton. I copy pasted all of Ban Ban's body parts onto her, and then I colored her fully white. Next, I gave her some eyes and drew her mouth, and then finally I added her pink bow on her horn thing. I forgot Banbalina also had a problem with her arms, so I had to fix it again. This is how Banbalina looks in game. She kinda looks like a weird bunny. I then spawned a Banbalina army and made them fight Jumbo Josh. Okay, they're all just fighting each other. Yeah, Jumbo Josh wins this easily. Banbalina is cool, but look at me spawning a bunch of crows. I then made Ban fight Banbalina to see who would win. I'm sorry, Banbalina, I kind of already knew what would happen. I decided to give Banbalina a 5 out of 10. It's not because I don't like her, it's just because I don't like her. Next, I made Opilabird. I used a chicken to make Opilabird, and I gave her a long neck, some purple wings, and a yellow beak. I then added these creepy looking eyes to her and added her to the game. Opilabird actually looks pretty good as well, but the baby, not so much. At least I don't have to worry about her chasing me though, because she's a chicken. Well, she'll chase me, but she's not gonna do anything, I think. In the game, Opilabird is supposed to fall into the ball pit, so I decided to test if she would survive a massive fall in Minecraft. She made it to the ground without taking damage. There is a minigame where you have to feed Opilabird 6 eggs, so I added that to the game as well. Kind of. I tried to swap Jumbo Josh and Opilabird's textures around to make a joke, but this just happened. Opilabird says laughter is the best medicine, so I'm asking you to laugh at that joke. Do it for her, not for me. I decided to give Opilabird an 8 out of 10 because she can't harm me for my opinion. Okay, really? Next, I made Captain Fiddles. I made Captain Fiddles from a Strider. First, I shrunk his legs and made his body smaller. Next, I colored him fully blue and I gave him a mouth and some eyes. Then, finally, I added some arms and some hands. Captain Fiddles actually looks pretty good in game, other than the fact that his legs aren't attached. Also, he's a really good method of transportation. Okay, well, he's not that good. He's kind of slow, honestly. You can even spawn a baby Captain Fiddles for whatever reason. His legs are even more broken, but it's fine. It is said that Captain Fiddles is known for his love of music, so I decided to play a song for him. This was really bad. It's supposed to be the Rickroll song. Sorry. To test if Captain Fiddles is a real captain, I decided to give him control of a boat. I'm going to give Captain Fiddles a 9 out of 10 because there isn't that much wrong with him.